Hello everyone, welcome to the Decor and Design DIY channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up a free account so that you can start doing space planning for your next decor or design DIY project. You will see the Join Now link. Click on that link, then click on Sign Up, and from there, go ahead and fill out this quick form, establish a password, create your account, and then we'll get started. Once you get to this screen, you should be able to click on Create New Design. If you already have existing designs, they should appear in the bottom of this panel, as you can see here. I'm going to click on the demo that I put together for this particular tutorial. Give it a minute to upload. Once the upload is completed, you will see the name of the file up here so that you know you're in the correct file. And then you will see the actual floor plan that I started putting together for this demo. And I'll also explain to you what some of these buttons mean. We're not going to get into depth in all of them because we are only using this tool for space planning purposes, meaning we're laying out all of our rooms and then we're going to be moving furniture around in order to see how the placement actually works. One of the reasons why I like to use the space planning tool is because it gives us the ability to move items around in the space so that you can get a sense of furniture placement before you go out and commit to purchasing pieces that may or may not fit into your design plan. Now, I like to use the space planning tool, but I want to differentiate between a space planning tool versus AutoCAD that allows you to do blueprints, if you will, that can then be shared with other professionals. You can use your space planning tool to some degree to give estimates of where things are located, but at some point you will want to have professional drawings done of your floor plan, especially if you are going to be remodeling, building, tearing down walls, and etc. This is just a good planning tool, but it does have some limitations, and I'll explain some of those limitations to you as we move through this demo. The first thing that I want to be able to show you though is how once you have the basic lines drawn for your floor plan, you can expand this picture that's located in the upper right hand corner here, and you can use this little tool right here in order to move around within that space. So I'm going to go over to the hallway and span this tool to the left and to the right. So I went ahead and put in some items so that it wouldn't be completely empty, just so that you could see how the placement tool actually works. I went ahead and put in a sliding glass door, some artwork, a console, and a few tables. And then when you pan all the way around to this wall, I added a flat screen television as well as a fireplace. And then from there, we're going to go into our catalog tool and add other pieces of furniture, lighting, tables and chairs, because this is a dining room, living room combination. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to minimize this again. Now, the cool thing about this tool and how it works along with the floor plan is when you click on these arrows, the resizing arrows, it will actually pull you into the room. You'll be able to use your mouse as a panning tool to show you around the space. And you can also use the arrows to move back and to move forward. Now to go out of that view, which is like a 3D view, it'll take you back to your space plan. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to move this over a little bit that centers my floor plan so that I can go ahead and start dropping in some furniture pieces because that's like the fun part, right? Once we open up the catalog, we'll be able to get a full view of the different materials that are available for our space planning project. But really quick, I want to show you the importance of why you need to save very often. The save button is right here. It's this little icon. So just make sure that after you work on something, adding something, that you save, because the tool can be a little glitchy. Depends on probably how much space, RAM, and all of that stuff that you have available, your graphic card, and all of that will have an impact on how well you will be able to save and move on to other sections. And it's important to make sure that you're saving frequently, because you will be thinking that you have saved the last 5 actions that you implemented, and then you'll leave out of the tool and come back and find that those items were not actually saved. I've done that quite a bit just learning this tool. So I want to make sure that I point that out. You will also be able to save as. So one of the things that I also recommend that you do is create your initial floor plan and leave that empty. You can add labels, and as you can see here, I've added names as well as numbers. And when you're designing a project or even decorating or painting, a lot of times we create schedules, and we'll have a schedule just for room 201. And in that room, certain things will take place. So we will have a paint schedule that indicates where we're going to put paint. We'll have a floor schedule. We'll have fixture schedules, door schedules, window schedules, so on and so forth. You're most likely to see those type of schedules though in a new build or in a remodel. And so, but just out of habit, because I've gone to design school, this is something that I would usually do. But if you call it living room, dining room, you will be fine. Okay. But that's just something that I do. And you're able to identify those rooms when you click. And you can pull those names from a list that they've already created, or you can type in a custom name. All right, I'm going to click off. And now what I'm going to do is show you how to drop in furniture. I've gone ahead of time and I've picked out some furnishings that I did in the finished project for the living room, dining room only. I'm going to do the other rooms in sequential videos so that you can see how the floor plan comes together. But for now, we're going to go ahead and start working on the dining room. And for that, we're going to go over here and select dining tables. Now I'm going to show you how some of these other tools work, but primarily, again, because we're doing space planning only, we will be using this tool to drop in rooms. We will be using this room to create walls, and we will also be utilizing the summary tab quite a bit, as well as the view tab, so you can turn these different features off. The summary tab, once we get this room completed, I'll explain exactly how we use that actual icon. The good thing that I like about this setup is that you can just use your mouse to scroll through, get a look and feel for some of the different designs that you might be interested in. And for today's tutorial, I'm going to click on the Elliott Round. And as you can see, it's kind of following me around here. And what I'm going to do is select it. I'm going to hold it and then move it over to the dining area where I want it to be placed. Now you won't be able to see it in the 3D version right off, because you want to be able to center things and give yourself circulation so that so that chairs can fit around this table. So I'm going to move it over just a little bit. But just to kind of show you what these different points allow you to do, this allows you to rotate it around. And you'll see how that works better when we start putting chairs in this plan. I'm going to move this out just a little bit so that we have some circulation on this side of the wall. And then I'm going to press the escape button. That takes off all of the tools that allow you to manipulate it and move it around. The next thing that we're going to do is add a light. I want to put not a chandelier per se, but I do want to put a lighting treatment here. Again, we're going to go over to the catalog, or if you know the light name, you can type it in. Now, because we're doing this from scratch, we're just going to assume that we don't know. It takes you back to the last search, but just click on catalog and it will bring up all of the other options. We're going to use our scroll to scroll down to lighting, and I'm going to look for a ceiling light for this treatment that we're going to add. And for this demo, I am looking for something a little mid-century mod, if you will, but is entirely up to you. You can click around and add different things. The basic concept, though, once you get to the light fixture that you want, there are a number of options. So take your time and just go through and try different things, experiment with different things. I'm going to select this option right here. You got to chase around. Now, I mentioned before there are some limitations to this tool, but just be patient, and you don't have to get perfect placement, just as long as it's in the ballpark. And if you want to see what's going on in your design as you're doing it, of course, you know you won't be able to go into the catalog. I mean, you will be able to open it, but what I want you to be able to do is open this up and see exactly what's going on, and use your guide tool to look at exactly what it is that you're doing. So that looks good. Now we're going to go ahead and add some chairs. I'm just going to bring this image over as far as I can, and I'm going to leave this open. But, let's just say you wanted to do some modifications to that. All you have to do is click on whatever that image is, and you'll be able to manipulate it by clicking and dragging on these lines. I'm going to click off because I want to deactivate it. And now I want to go back and look at the catalog again and select chairs. Remember, to kind of reset your search, click on that catalog button and then scroll down. I'm going to go back up to dining room because I thought what you will find when you are building out your design is that you're going to see some of the same objects or furnishings in other categories, but that's okay. Well, this time what I'm going to do is type in chairs, just so that you can see some of the versatility of the tool. Type in the word chairs. And again, scroll down to the chair that you like. Try different options. See what's available. I'm looking for leather chairs for this example. And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 tries to get to what it is that you're looking for. All right, for this demo, I'm going to go with the low chocolate leather chair that looks like it is out of Crate and Barrel. for some of these products, if you really like them, you'll be able to actually find them in the store. And we'll be talking about some of the sources where you can get these actual items and have the opportunity to actually go to the store and look at the chair, sit in the chair, and make a decision about the chair prior to making that purchasing decision. All right, so I'm going to put that chair right here. And because I need 4, all I'm going to do is do a Control C. And then a Control V to make a copy of it. Find a place for it. And again, it doesn't have to be super perfect. I do want it to be under the table. And then I'm going to just do a Control V again. And just click off of there because I don't want that to be highlighted. Okay, there's the third chair. Click off. And there's the fourth chair. Okay, he disappeared. We want him to be right here. All right, so now what you will be able to do is take this tool and turn that chair to the desired position, click off, or hit the escape key. Click, then position that chair, turn it around, click, and then move it in, and then click escape, and then do the same thing. Escape. Awesome. So it's not perfect, but when you look at the image, it's okay because again, we're just looking at placement. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a sofa and then we're going to add a coffee table. And that will be the end of this design. I'm going to go ahead and speed ahead a little bit because you got the gist of it. But I invite you to go through the catalog and just scroll through and do some window shopping. There's so many different objects, which are the actual pieces, that you can put into your design space plan. So there you have one finished room, well, a combination room of a dining room and a living room. And then from there, you'll be able to start sourcing the finishes that you selected by clicking on the Summary tab. That actually gives you an overview of all of the pieces that you selected and the names of the companies where these materials are actually located real time. Once I have the pieces situated the way that I like, from there what I do is I take a snip of that image, which is simply a copy of that image that I have set up. And from there, you can go to the Microsoft Office PowerPoint presentation, open a copy, and copy a image of your design into that presentation software. For this demonstration, I just copied and pasted that image into a Google Slide version, which is the equivalent to the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. But as you can imagine, from there you can label, you can multiply these as many as you need. You can do one set of drawings that point out where all of the electrical are located. You can do another set of drawings to point out where your windows and doors are located. HVAC, lighting, and anything else that you need to identify on different layouts so that when you're working with those different professionals, you're able to give them the information that they need so that they can come in and actually do the measurements and validate the information that you're actually sharing with them. You'll also be able to create a paint schedule. So if you wanted to paint a certain room a different color from another room, you'll be able to lay that out by writing on those plans, those space plans, the colors that you actually selected. And if you go back really quick to this tool, there is a paintbrush that allows you to actually make those changes. So let's go ahead and look at this wall for a second here. I'm going to highlight it by selecting on that wall, and then you'll see how it changes because it'll turn yellow. And then from there, I'm just going to go in and find a color. And I'm going to look for something taupey to go on that wall just for this demo. And I can pull something, a color out of this design here. I don't want to go too much darker than the wallpaper that I selected. But here, as you can see, it gives you so many different options. And you can just scroll around and look at the colors. And it shows you as you hover over each of those, what those colors look like. I kind of like that. Let's just see what that looks like. So that turned out pretty nicely, and it actually remembers the color that you used. I think I have the floor highlighted, so I'm gonna click off. So as you can see, it remembers the color that I used, but you can just go in and change things by clicking on that surface and just dragging your mouse over any of those color selections in order to change the color scheme. So as you can see, it's not a perfect tool and it takes some finesse to get used to how things move around, but it really gets you going in the right direction. Again, this is a free tool, so be sure to go to homestyler.com and open up your account so that you can get started reimagining and redesigning and adding decor pieces to your next DIY project. I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.